First and foremost, thank you all for being here, especially those who went to Connect and Cocktails. There's probably some sore heads in the room, but we need some high energy, okay? So is everybody ready? Yeah. Is that everybody ready? Yeah. Thank you. We're here today to talk about web channels and how you can utilize those to maximize engagement with your players directly on the web and prove to you that web is not dead. My name, Harry Jordan, Customer Success Manager here at Optimove, and I'm joined on stage by the incredibly talented solutions engineer, Alec Gehlot.
Thank you very much, Harry. When I speak to marketers about web, I often get the impression that the image behind me is true, that web is outdated, and that mobile apps are the way forward for customer engagement. So I'd like to ask the audience a question, and I'd like to see a show of hands. Who here believes that the web is still relevant for customer engagement and retention?
Of course you do. That's why you came to the talk today. In the time we have, we're going to talk to you about how pivotal your website can be in grabbing your customers' interest and helping drive your business goals. But first, we're going to take a look at some numbers. 1%. What does 1% mean? This is where we need a little bit of audience participation. Can I get a drum roll, please? 1%, is it the percentage of people in this very room, thank you, Matt, that achieved their New Year's resolution past February? No, I think it's probably a little bit higher. One more time, drum roll, please. Is it the percentage of people that actually get back to you after they say, let me get back to you?
No, in fact, it's way more important than that. 1% represents the global increase in mobile app downloads from 2022 to 2023. A mere 1%. What does that tell us? Mobile app downloads are stagnating. Therefore, if you want to get your app on customers' devices, it's becoming increasingly more difficult.
That's absolutely right, Alec. And that's not the end of the story. Let's look at one more number. 43%. What does 43% mean? Last one. Is it the percentage of people that open up a tab and completely forget why they did it? No. 43% today represents the total amount of time spent online on a desktop. Or, for those of you that remember what a desktop PC was, more accurately, a laptop.
And here's the key takeaway. The web is more relevant than people think. That means web channels are crucial, because if you're only focusing on mobile apps, you're missing out on a huge opportunity.
Here at Optimove, we believe that websites are not getting the love that they deserve. That's why we've built a suite of channels specifically designed to engage with your customers, grab their interest directly on the web.
And if you are familiar with Optimove's naming conventions, this won't come as a surprise. We have named our web page pop-ups, web inbox, and web push notifications OptiWeb.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to quickly show you how good these channels are, what we can use them for, and the key benefits. So, web page pop-ups. Everyone in this room has probably had a really negative experience with a pop-up. Inescapable, intrusive, probably quite creepy. I know I've seen a few that probably scarred me to this day. But that's not what modern pop-ups should be. Smart personalization and precise targeting means that the right customer gets the right message.
And timing is everything. A well-timed pop-up will certainly engage, but a poorly timed one is going to drive customers away. Well-timed, thoughtful, and relevant. That's how pop-ups should be. And just a little tip from me. When a customer lands on a site, they don't want to be hit immediately with a pop-up like a right hook.
And for anyone that knows Alec from LinkedIn, you should probably listen to him on the boxing advice. So, going into the web inbox. Now, I know it's happened to me, so it's probably happened to you. You've signed up to a brand, you've received an amazing offer. Perhaps it's a discount on the products you were looking at, or it's that all-important welcome bonus. And you think, I'm going to get back to that later. But you don't, because it's lost in this sea of various other offers from various different brands, all competing to get the customer's attention. Web inbox solves that problem.
Our web inbox offers persistent dynamic messages, so customers can access them whenever they need them. It's also built into the UI, so you can share content without interrupting the browsing experience. But most importantly of all, you can send these messages even after the customer has left the site.
And the thing with Web Inbox, what we want to make sure we're doing is helping you with that onboarding journey. So making sure the customers know who you are, your brand message, and how they should be engaging with your business. And finally, let's take a look at web push notifications. And like Alex said, the biggest problem that we find with customers, how do we get them back on the site after they've left? Do we send them an email? How about a social media ad? Maybe, if we've got it in the budget, send them a smoke signal. No? Okay. With emails, they've got to check their inbox. With social media ads, they've got to scroll their feed.
Web push notifications are built for short, urgent messages. They also support rich content, such as images, GIFs, and links, so you can make them really snazzy. But most importantly of all, they are available even after that customer has left the site.
That means you can engage with your uncompleted checkout, get them back so they can actually purchase that item, notify them of a flash sale or that all-important announcement. Direct, real-time, push notifications are going to get your customers where they need to be. The only difference to the other two products we're showing is that customers are required to opt in. But that's a good thing. Why? Because it means the customers are engaged with your content and they want to receive the messages from you. So what we're going to do is just quickly run through the channels. We'll tell you the key benefits again and those use cases. So web page pop-ups, they grab attention and there is no opt-in required. And with our visual template builder, you can create dynamic, personalized content to get directly to where it needs to with the customer.
And the key use case for web page pop-ups is collecting customer data, maybe like an email. But you can also use them to promote limited time offers.
Moving on to web inbox. As we said, again, there's no opt-in required because like web page pop-ups, it's deemed to be part of the user's experience online. They are less intrusive because there's no need to be competing with your other brands. It's built directly into the UI, as we said before, and it's your own personal mailbox available for the information when your customer needs it.
And you can use the web inbox to teach customers about your product. They are fantastic for educational messages.
And finally, looking at web push notifications, there's no app download or email required, and they're supported on both desktop and mobile browsers, which we'll show you in just a little bit.
And the key word when it comes to web push notifications is re-engagement.
So let's take a look at how we can utilize these channels across the customer journey using OptiWeb. Starting with phase one.
Now, one of the biggest challenges is turning visitors into customers or players. People land on the site for various different reasons, whether they're curious, whether they're researching, or maybe they're just plain bored. So how do we take that interest in order to drive an action before they leave the site? We can use the Customer Explorer to identify high-intent visitors. We can use things such as average session time, such as page visits, and other browsing data. An example of this might be a limited time offer for shoppers, or for players, we can offer them a deposit match offer. With Optimove's visual template editor, it's extremely easy to create these sorts of examples. And the end result is increased conversion rate, a smoother customer journey, and fewer missed opportunities to turn interest into action.
Thank you, Alec. Moving on to phase two. Now, as Alec said, one of the biggest problems that we have is converting those visitors into customers. What's the second one? Keeping them active. But they're ready, they're here, they've signed up, they're registered, they're interested in what you have to say. And as we said before, you're competing with lots of various brands to get the customer's interest. And we've all probably been a SpongeBob. We've lost the emails, we've lost the content, we've lost that brand's key message that they were trying to say to us. However, with the web inbox, and as Shai talked about in the talk yesterday, with embedded messaging, we're getting it directly built into your site's UI with dynamic, personalized content to show the customer exactly what they want to see when they want to see it. And they can be the Batman, and we can be the Robin to help support them on their customer journey.
And even with the best engagement strategies, some customers will churn. But it's not enough to just acknowledge this and cry about it. We have to do something about it. That's where web push notifications come in. We can offer a notification or a message around products they've bought perhaps in the past for shoppers. Or for gamers, we can notify them about upcoming tournaments or jackpots. All of this to stop them from leaving us forever.
That means we can battle out of that inbox, make sure we're not getting lost in the emails, or relying on unpredictable social media algorithms. Web push notifications are going to be direct, instantaneous, and they get the customer where they need to be. But we've talked enough. Let's show you a little bit more of the product. Now, you should all be very, very excited. You're getting a very exclusive look at one of our very, very famous clients here. This is our gaming demo, okay? So this is our demo site. And what we want to show you is a couple of the features here today. We're going to look at the Customer Explorer. We're going to look at how we build out templates. And then we're also going to show you how we bring it all together. But first, what a lot of people don't know, what we have available with our Customer Explorer, is that you can build visitor groups. Similarly to that of your customer data, which we can see in the Customer Explorer and helps you target and segment them in different ways, the Visitor Explorer does the same for returning customers, showing you a wide variety of different attributes you can use to build this target group, which means that you're engaging with the customers specifically that you want to based off of the information we have available. But for all the Blue Peter fans in the room, we're going to show you one we made earlier. This here is we're looking at the life cycle of churn. So these are the customers who used to be active or never transitioned to that phase. We're looking at using our predictive metrics, which is the highest reactivation rate possible. If you don't know what our predictive metrics are, there's one place you want to go today. That's our Optimove Zone, and our team would be happy to talk to you more about it. And finally, we're going to add in web and app activity, which means we're looking at those customers who made a page visit, but specifically a page visit that was looking for a promotion within the last 7 days. What does this group look like? We're looking at the customers who've churned with the highest propensity to reactivate, and they're looking for something from you. They're looking for a promotion to see if there's the best offer available for them. So let's give it to them.
And how easy is it, you may ask, to build, let's say, a web push notification? Well, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience. On the left-hand side, you can see how we can write the copy for this message. But not only that, we can access any data point available in your Optimove instance for personalization tags, but also conditional language to change the dynamic of the message. If you want to see how that might look on a customer's desktop, then we can see that on the right-hand side there with a live preview. But not just on Windows, we can show it on Mac and also on mobile.
Which is, as we talked about before, we can get those customers even when they're not on a desktop device. But, Alec, Harry, how are we going to engage with them? Thank you, random person at the back. We're going to be looking at the stream builder here. So what we want to show you for those eagle-eyed users is the reference group that we made earlier. So we're looking at those churn customers. And I'm going to talk to you about treatment A. We're just looking at a pop-up. What we want to utilize here is our trigger, which we can build in the Optimove Zone. And we're going to be engaging with those customers who've come to our site to offer them that offer to get them back and playing with us.
And I know by now that you probably think that we really love web channels.
We love web channels.
But that doesn't mean that web channels can't play nicely with other channels that we have available within Optimove. So in this example, we have used an email to encourage users to go to the site, and that's when we hit them with the web page pop-up.
So if we could just quickly go back to the slides. So what we've shown you today, and hopefully you can implement for yourselves, is utilizing OptiWeb across the entire customer journey. We've looked at converting your customers into players or your visitors into players or customers, sorry. We've looked at increasing their activity on the site using web inbox, and we've looked at reactivating them with that well-timed push or pop-up. So, what have we learned today? Web is a vital engagement channel used with Optimove's rich solutions to get the right message to the right customer at the right time. We've looked at the strategies, we've looked at the numbers, and one thing is clear.
And I would like to leave you with this one last message. Web isn't just alive. It is more important than ever. Thank you.